Good morning, Giants. Wake Up with Giants TV. I'm Ryan Morris, and as always, I'm here with your host, Nicholas T. Smith, the creator of The Giants and the Smalls, wonderful book. If you haven't followed us on YouTube, go ahead and do that. Wake Up with Giants TV. You can also find us on Facebook. If you join us on YouTube, make sure you hit the alert button so you know when we go live. And then you can catch all our content. Come in, boom. I hadn't wondered how to coach dead people until I introduced the show, but now I'm really curious.
I was trying to do my best dead person face, but it didn't work. So sorry about that.
That's all right. We forgive you. But we have a wonderful show today. Nick, will you introduce our guest?
I will. We got Daniel Olexa. He is an executive coach, an amazing human. Had the honor of having him in one of my SG groups and got to know him through Steve Hardison, actually on the road trip. And so he's a hypnotherapist. He's a best-selling author. He's a keynote speaker, lead facilitator, mentor, and architect of Transcendent Living. That's it.
That's it.
That's all I got. That's it. We're over. We're done.
Yeah. No, he's got over 25 years of professional problem-solving experience and has worked in broadcasting, design, and education. But what makes him extraordinary is not his business experience. He's a master at bringing the dead back to life. And we're going to talk about that as we go forward because he's got a take on that is a little different. And so we want to welcome you to the show.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah,
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, great day for
Perfect
this topic.
Right? Yeah.
Perfect.
This is great.
We were like, hey, why not? Halloween. I think you moved it forward just so we could do that. It's perfect.
I did. I wore my skull shirt.
I should have dressed
I just
up.
hear Oingo Boingo in the background. It's a dead man's party. Who could ask for more?
We're in the right place then.
Yeah. Well, good, man. We're going to dive into your story and your journey. And the goal with this is to really highlight for people that there are so many ways to be a giant, so many ways to go through the 12 journeys that we talk about in the book. And so we're going to dive into yours going all the way back in time. We'd like to hear about your story. Like, where did it start? What was life like growing up, if you could? And then we'll just move from there.
Sure. So growing up in the early 70s, yeah, I'm that old. I grew up with two parents who
grew up
their formative years. What's that?
Disco balls.
Hand me down bell bottoms. Yeah. I had two parents who their formative years were during the Depression and right after. So they learned lack like we haven't seen since and carried it forward like for life and maintained that mindset and indoctrinated my siblings and I into it.
Like it's a cult. Like the Depression cult.
Great way to put it, because
like, put this aluminum foil in your pocket.
Save it. You might need it later.
You'll need it later.
You need that. Don't throw that away.
I'm laughing, but I'm kind of like that too.
Wash that plastic spoon.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Oh yeah.
My gosh.
Don't waste that.
Yeah.
Don't waste that.
My parents.
The gristle on that steak, you eat that gristle because that's good for you. Don't waste good meat. And it was just like this, and didn't know any better at that point. I was like 5 years old. But it sank in, like this limiting mindset that, and I can run the litany. There's never enough money to go around. Every time you get $1, somebody's there to take it away. Takes money to make money, and we don't have any, therefore we can't make any.
The rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
Yeah, all that nonsense. But
Peter to pay Paul.
Lived it as a truth because it was their truth, but then indoctrinated it down to us. Yeah. And it took me the better part of 45 years to finally break it.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good spin.
Yeah, that's quick. Yeah. You know what though? Like I think about that stuff, and I know we just barely started in your story. Isn't that interesting that stuff is ingrained pretty dang early, that becomes our belief or our norm. It's handed down from our parents and how we see and view the world. We adopt it as our own, and then we live 40 years of our life believing that.
Yeah. And what really, like, there was always this little like fire inside me that said life can be different, and I couldn't. It was like dangling carrot out here, and I couldn't quite grab it. But
Dangling fire carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was finally when I was going through my hypnotherapy training, and I'm starting to wake up into it into like, that's not the way life is. It doesn't have to be that way. You know how when you have a job where you get paid every 2 weeks, there's 2 months out of the year where you get the third paycheck. You're like, what's this? Awesome. I can't wait.
That's a good one.
I do.
One of those months was coming. It might have even been October.
I celebrate it like Christmas.
The 5 week months, you're like, yeah,
take it.
Rich.
And I know it was coming close to Christmas because my sister called me, and I had these plans. Like, I'm going to get ahead this month. As part of the journey, when I went back to school, my income went in the tank. I went from making 6 figures to making like 14 grand working retail while I'm back in school. There's a gut check. Yeah. And so my sister calls, and she's saying, so, we're figuring out a present for my dad for Christmas, or for our dad for Christmas. I'm like, okay, so I'm in, but I don't know what I can contribute because I was planning on getting ahead this month because of the extra paycheck. And then this bill from the state of Florida shows up for car tags or something like that. And she kicks into, yeah, every time you get $1, somebody's there to take it away. You can just never get ahead. I'm like, wait. You can't be saying the same things that are in my head in the same cadence, in the same litany, with the same emphasis, unless we both learned it from the same place. So that means it's not mine.
Your parents were my parents?
They might have been. I don't know.
There's a little jingle and you're marching down the road.
Let's go get that 23andMe test right.
That's right.
Every time there's $1, there's another $1 taken.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I picture like the old Christmas movies, like they just put one foot in front of the other, like that. Mm-hmm. Like that would be your family Christmas song. Every time you get $1, there's one taken. I don't know.
Or the what is it? Load 16 tons and what do you get? That was really close.
That's my mom used to sing that. Holy cow. Another day older and a deeper in debt.
Yep.
Yeah. So keep going.